I don't usually get handwritten letters. Who does these days? But that morning in my mailbox, buried between flyers and bills, was an ivory envelope. The paper had yellowed with age, as if pulled from an old drawer. There was no return address. But the strangest part was, the recipient's name was mine. The handwriting was neat and rounded. Below my name was my current address, perfectly correct. But in the upper right corner, the stamp was from the 1960s. The postmark date, April 1965. I stared at the envelope for a long time, the way you stare at something that feels like a memory, but not your own. I opened the letter. Dear Elle, I don't know if this letter will ever reach you, but if you're reading it, then maybe part of the plan worked. You won't remember me, but I remember you. I met you before you were born. There are things words can't fully explain, but you need to know. The life you're living was once chosen, not by fate, but by something we once shared. If you go to the lakeside park on your 33rd birthday, you'll understand. I read the letter 3 times. No sender name, no signature, just those short, mysterious lines. The strangest thing of all, I had just turned 33, only a few days earlier. This letter, written 60 years ago, somehow knew me, knew my age, my exact address, and hinted at a memory that couldn't possibly be mine. I walked inside with the letter in hand, my chest tight with questions I didn't know how to ask. I decided to follow the letter's instructions. I went to the lakeside park, the one my mother used to take me to as a child. It was quiet, still. The wind didn't blow. I sat down on a wooden bench facing the lake, and an overwhelming feeling came over me. Something between anticipation and a strange nostalgia, for something I couldn't name. An old man approached, cane in hand, eyes kind but somehow hiding something. Are you Elle? He asked. I froze. Yes. How do you know my name? He smiled gently, then sat beside me. I knew you before you were you. I turned to him, words stuck in my throat. You lived here a long time ago, before you were born, in another life. We made a promise that if one of us ever came back, we'd send a sign and you'd come here, just like we said. I didn't believe in reincarnation, but at that moment, the letter, his eyes, the feeling deep inside me, made it impossible to dismiss. He told the story. In 1965, he was a 24-year-old man, and I was a woman 10 years older, living in the same town. We fell in love, quietly. Back then, society didn't accept relationships like ours. But I, the former version of me, died in a sudden accident. Without warning, without goodbyes. Before my death, I, or rather the person I was, wrote that letter and asked him to keep it. He promised to send it if he ever saw me again, in any form, and he did. When I saw you walking through this park last year, he said, I knew. The way you moved, your smile, your eyes. It was you. I felt something surge inside me, not fear, but like a distant memory trying to return. A whisper from some hidden part of my soul. You don't have to believe it right away, he said softly. Just keep living. And when life feels confusing or hard, remember, you chose this path for a reason. He placed an old photograph into my hand. In it, a woman stood beside a younger version of him. Long hair, bright eyes. She looked like me, but older, stronger. Her hand rested gently on his shoulder, her eyes full of trust. Goodbye, my love, he said, then turned and walked away. I never saw him again. I keep the letter and the photo in a drawer beside my bed. Sometimes I take them out and read them again, not to figure out whether it was all true, but to remind myself. Some things in life aren't meant to be explained. They're meant to be felt, like a letter from the past, sent to you, from someone who once loved you beyond reason. Midnight Whispers is a place for kindred souls. If you feel like you found where you belong, please like this video and subscribe to the channel.